We welcome you to our weekly one-on-one with head coach Doug Pederson, presented by Wawa. I'm Eagles Insider Dave Spadaro. Doug, Merry Christmas week to you. I know it's a busy one for you. Hope everybody's doing well at the Pederson household.
Everybody's doing great, Dave. Merry Christmas to you too, and all our Eagles fans out there. And this is an exciting week. One, because it's obviously Christmas week, but again, we get another opportunity to play a great game.
Right, against the Dallas Cowboys, the arch rival for every Eagles fan out there. Doug, last week after Jalen's first start, you listed a couple of things that you had some constructive criticism about. His timing on his drops and the routes, the progression with his eyes and the speed in his reads and progressions, and then coming out of the huddle faster and getting to the line of scrimmage faster. Did you see improvement in those three areas?
I saw improvement, but we can even improve even more. I think that was part of our issues early in the game. Our sense of urgency as an offense as a whole, something we talked about all last week, and it just didn't. It didn't kind of sort of transpire early in the football game, not until about the second quarter when we kind of cut our traction just a little bit. He did better with his drops. He can continue to work and get better there. I thought his decision, timing, accuracy was really good, especially from the pocket. There were a couple of receiver screens and some movement throws that, accuracy could be a little bit better. But I thought overall, listen, I'm nitpicking just a little bit, but these are the details that Jalen wants expressed, right? How can I get better as a quarterback? And so these are the things that we can help him improve and ultimately be a better quarterback.
Speaking of getting better for Jalen Hurts, I wondered from the time he was in college and as a thrower to now, all the mechanics that you've worked on. Is there a dramatic difference in his mechanics, in his throwing motion, in his quickness release, any of the things that you and the coaching staff have worked with him on through these many months?
Not really. One of the things that you try not to do is mess with their throwing motions or too much of their feet. You can improve accuracy with eyes and decision making and timing and things of that nature, and you got to keep working the timing of your drop with the timing of the concept of the pass play, right? And that's where we can continue to improve with Jalen, with Carson, with Nate. That's a big part of the passing game is just that timing and accuracy, and just keep working his feet, getting his feet in the right place. But we don't really make a lot of wholesale changes with their mechanics. We just want to tweak some things and make sure that they're getting the ball out on time.
If you would, in layman's terms, explain what that means. You're talking a three-step drop. There's a certain movement that you have, precision that you have in your footwork versus a five-step drop versus a seven-step drop. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly right. So our quick game timing is always three steps. So we always take everything as if we're under the center. So when we say quick game, that's always your three-step, timing progression. So it's usually three plant throw or three hitch and a throw. And then if you're doing that from the shotgun, it's really just catch the ball, a little bit of a bounce or hesitation, and you make that delivery. You don't have to take a drop because you're already, back there. And that's the same with the 5-step and the 7-step, and that all gets married up with the concept of the play or the design of the play. And so that's where we can continue to help Jalen and grow Jalen as a quarterback to make sure that those drops time up with the concepts that we're trying to execute on any given play.
I wondered going into the Cardinals game what it would be like as Arizona tried to maybe take away the perimeter from Jalen, and then you and the coaching staff tried to counter that. What was that chess match like for you on Sunday?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to be able to do that and kind of decipher how they were going to attack us. And they came out with a lot of 5-man pressure and really kind of keep Jalen in the pocket the best they could, and which they played a little more man coverage, and they play man coverage anyway. But which was kind of a surprise because the week before New Orleans played man coverage and Jalen was able to escape the pocket and have some big runs. And this week they played man coverage, but they also rushed 5 guys. So they were doing both and trying to keep Jalen in the pocket. He still had some success outside the pocket running and extending plays. And then, the same way in the run game, just, marrying up the different run concepts against, what they presented us. And, we started, again, in that second quarter, that's when we started gaining some momentum, with both the run game and the pass game, and then again trying to keep them off balance with some of the play action and movement stuff, and then our receiver screens really became important for us, and we had a huge one there with Quez Watkins, and Jalen late in the game with our receiver screens.
What did you take away otherwise beyond number 2 from the offensive side of the ball against the Cardinals?
Well, we did have some success running the ball. We could have been a little bit better there running the football, but I thought overall we did some good things. I thought the O-line, for the most part, really held up nicely and gave Jalen some time to throw. I thought the young receivers, you talk about Quez and Jalen Reagor, Alshon. Alshon had a great matchup with one of the best cornerbacks in our league in Patrick Pederson all night, and it was fun to watch him go to work there. So I thought those guys, Alshon, really stepped up, and something that Greg Ward played extremely tough and physical, and then Travis had some plays down the stretch. So something we've challenged, and I've challenged our receivers the last couple of weeks to really show up in these games, show up for the quarterback. As we say, be where your feet are, work the top of your route, work the timing with the quarterback. And that was real impressive to see. And then, again, how those young guys are beginning to sort of emerge.
Doug, all of a sudden, this team on both sides of the ball, you're starting a lot of young players. The roster has been stretched beyond its limit. So in the big picture here, what are you learning about young players and where this roster's going and what you have now and maybe what you might have for the future?
For the most of these young guys, the game's not that big for them. A lot of them have come from big programs themselves. They played in some big games, and so the game is not as big. I would say the one thing that they're learning, though, is how fast the speed of the game is different from practice, and it's hard to simulate that, as during the week. So they're having to, learn the speed of the game kind of on the fly, and then it's hard to simulate a DeAndre Hopkins in practice, right? I mean, it's hard to a DK Metcalf. It's hard to simulate these guys in practice, and then when they get in the game, they realize just how good and powerful and strong these players can be, and so they're learning that. And so it's sort of it's a crash course, on just kind of football 101. But they're showing great improvement. Obviously, great enthusiasm. They bring that youth movement that sort of interjects in your football team and kind of gives you a little bit of a lift. But overall, they've been doing a nice job, and we continue to work with them and give them every opportunity to be successful.
It's the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. You played them a couple of months ago. What has changed with their defense?
Well, they obviously got after San Francisco this past weekend and did some really good things there. I know San Francisco is also a team that has been decimated with injury this season, and Dallas as well. But they're showing improvement too. This defense is tough, especially at home. They have a few more people in their building than most teams, so the crowd it can be a factor a little bit. But it's the Dallas Cowboys, and it's always a great matchup when we go down there and play them, and we're excited for the opportunity.
You are doing such a great job segueing for me, because now I want to talk about the Jalen's going back to Dallas, their hometowns. Mills has done it before, but Hurts and Reagor have not. Is there a challenge going back and seeing your family and maybe playing in front of them for the first time?
Well, it's going to be exciting for them to be able to do that, obviously this week, and this week being Christmas and being around family and then of course playing down there, and it's going to be exciting for them. But I think they both are going to want to do well, but at the same time, I'm going to make sure that they stay grounded and stay humble and continue to execute the game plan and just go play, and we'll see what happens.
What's the next challenge for Jalen Hurts, Doug? As a quarterback, what is the next step in his progression?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just how does he bounce back after this loss, right? And this was a tough, physical, emotional game. And we understand too that every game is kind of a playoff atmosphere for us, and we got to treat each week that way. And how he responds this week will be important. But I don't have any concerns. I know the type of person he is, the type of player he is, and he's going to continue to improve and get better. And not only himself, but he's going to be able to do that with the offense. He's going to be able to challenge the offense that way, and and really bring the guys along.
Doug, last one. What have you learned, and what has this team learned? Very difficult situation, changing quarterbacks. It hasn't ripped the team apart. There's been so many stories out there. It could have been nasty. It hasn't been. Why?
I just credit the players. I credit the leaders on the team, for keeping everything together. Our common goal, is obviously to win each week. And no matter, I know some teams that go through quarterback changes, like it could split your team, right? It could be 50-50 for either quarterback. But our guys have really rallied around both quarterbacks. We still have an opportunity in front of us that who would have thought that we'd still be here with a chance to win, the NFC East. But there's a lot to play for, and so the guys have really rallied around each other, and they're committed to the team, and that's good to see.
Doug Pederson, our weekly one-on-one presented by Wawa. Thanks so much for your time, Doug. Happy holidays. Beat the Cowboys and have a great week.
All right. Thank you, Dave.